Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about functions today. So this is another video in our series, and we're going to see it on the basics first, part 1. So what are functions? Functions are basically operations that we can reuse multiple times in our code. So suppose if you suppose you in like real life, functions like if you have a robot, so the robot will have a performance or operation, maybe to like walk forward or walk back, and you will use that function multiple times. So we can use these functions really usefully. Like so, functions are also they're also variables, but instead of a value, they have a performance. That's basically a function, and we can reuse that function multiple times in our code. We can also pass in values called parameters that will be really useful in the future. So I bet you will have to learn about functions in this video. So, so there are two ways to start off a function. There's an arrow function, and there's also a radial function that many coders use. So the arrow function is the new one that came out in JavaScript. So you can use that one, but you can also use the normal function if that helps you. So first I'll show you the normal function, then I'll show you the arrow one, okay? So to start off making a function, the normal one, the one that people would use regularly, is first saying the keyword function, click it over here, and now you have to put your name. So maybe my name could be hello world. So I'll say hello world. So what I have right over here is camel casing, where the first letter of the first word is a lowercase, and then the first letter of any other word that comes after it is capital, and there's no space in between. So that's camel casing, and then you put your parentheses, and so inside your parentheses you actually put your parameters, but I'm going to show you those later. So, and then you put your curly braces, and then you click enter. You know what, I'll put my semicolon, and like that. So this is how we start function hello world. So in my function, I'm just going to say a document dot write, and then inside it, I'm going to say hello world. So what this does right over here is, so this will whenever we call on this function, it will do this operation that's inside these curly braces. So if I go and see this in our browser, we're not going to get anything. Let's see. We don't get anything, and that's what we actually get. So it's because this function is not called. So over here, we're basically defining the function, but we're not calling it. So in order to call a function, or in programming words, you say invoke. So to invoke a function, you simply say hello world, and then you put your parentheses. You have to put your parentheses. And also you normally put your parameters, but I'm going to show you those later. So now that I have this function and this call over here, let's see what happens. Hello world. I'll do something interesting. So if I do a document.write, document dot write, and then, oops, and then inside these parentheses, I'm just going to say hi. So if I go and see this in the browser, we get the hi message because this is not called yet. If I put the hello world before it, if I put the hello world, if I call the function below it like this, where I define it over here, then I do this, and then I call it, what do you think will happen? So I think that actually we should get this before this happens. So if we see this in our code, we get, oh yeah, I need to do a PR tag. So the VR, and we see this, we get hi, and then we get our hello world. So basically, it runs this function over. It defines it, and then over here, it's going to output this BR tag. Remember, JavaScript goes line by line. So because this line is first, it's going to do this line, and then it's going to see this invoke right over here, and go back over here and fire this function. And then after it fires this function and reaches this curly brace, it then goes on with the code, and then it sees that there's nothing else and terminates. So that's what we see right over here happening. So this is a call over here. Now let me show you the arrow function. So to start an arrow function, first you have to do, first you have to say const. Like first you have to type your keyword const, which means constant, and then you have to put your name of your function. The name of my function, I'm just going to do hello world again. You can do anything you want. And now that you have this, you say equal, but this time we don't put any normal value. This time we put our parentheses over here, and then we do an arrow. So to do an arrow, you say equal, and then you put this greater than sign, and like this you get arrow. And after that, you can put your curly braces over here, and I'll put my semicolon, and then I'm going to do my function. So for this, I can do the same thing that I did last time, document.write. And inside it, I'm just going to say hello world. So this is the arrow function right over here. It seems messy, but remember, functions are basically like are variables, but instead of holding a value, they hold like an operation. So this right over here is the function part, and this is the operation. Something useful that is really useful about arrow functions, you don't need to put your curly braces over here, and you can just put it on one line like this. So you basically get it like this, and it's really neat. Or you can have it like the other way. Either way matters. So I'm just going to put it like this, and if we try it out and see it, it works. So we also need to call the function. So it basically stores it over here and then calls it over here. Some people use it like this because this has some cool features, like you can put it on one line. And this is and then the normal function keyword is just that you can see the function that is a function directly. So that's a little bit of functions in detail in basics. So in the next video, we're going to learn about what are parameters and how we can use them to like make and use output. Bye. Thanks for watching.